This is the story of one of Ford's baddest cars, a Mustang with the heart of a Le Mans legend. This is everything you need to know to get up to speed on the GT500.
My name's Carroll Shelby, and performance is my business.
We've talked about him before. Hell, I've cried about him before. If you haven't seen our episode on him, check it out right here. What you need to know right now is that back in 1965, Carroll Shelby took a little thing called the Ford Mustang and modified it with things like a strut tower brace to stiffen up the front end, tuned steering geometry for better steering, and a new intake manifold that gave the engine 35 more horsepower. Then the dude added lightness by removing the rear seats. Shelby called it the Cobra GT350. And it was basically a race car for the street. Wait, let me rephrase that. It was a race car that you could also drive on the open road. The GT350 won the Sports Car Club of America's Class B production championship 3 years in a row. So it was like seriously legit, dude. The next year, Shelby helped Ford defeat Ferrari at the 24 Hours of Le Mans with the GT40. It was a mid-engined track monster designed solely to beat Enzo Ferrari on his home turf. Ford secured a 1-2-3 finish with their race car, powered by a 427 cubic inch V8. It was a huge moment for Ford, for Shelby, and for America. The win had the gears in Carroll's head spinning around with chaotic fury, as the thrill of victory always did for that charming Texan. What if we put that big engine from the GT40 into a frickin' Mustang? So that's what he set out to do. The 1967 Mustang had a nice little refresh since its debut in '64. It was meaner, leaner, with an angrier demeanor. It was a stone cold fire blizzard, the perfect candidate for a huge engine. What, you think Carroll's crazy for putting this engine in a little pony car? Well, you're right, pal! This is a guy who stole a freaking army plane to deliver a love letter to his girlfriend. Carroll Shelby does not mess around. The 427 was a snug fit under the hood of the '67 Mustang. To feed that hungry beast extra air, Shelby's new Stang got an upgraded hood scoop and functional scoops in front of the rear wheels to keep them back brakes cool. This new car was also the first American production car to have a roll bar installed from the factory. It wasn't a track car like Shelby's previous projects, but it had all the race car touches. It was the ultimate Mustang from the ultimate speed shop, located just 2 blocks from the ocean in Venice, California. So what should I call it? Well, I already got the GT350, but this boy's got a bigger engine. So it has to be a bigger number, obviously. Well, 500 is bigger than 350. Damn it, Carroll, you've done it again. Upon debut, the GT500 was an instant classic. The fiberglass scoop work around the car was a not so subtle way of telling people, hey, I'm a GT500! When it came to American cars, there was really nothing else like it on the road. Just a freaking beast. But the 427 wouldn't last long. Why? Well, the 427 was a race engine, you remember? The 427 was super loud and had a tendency to burn oil at highway speeds. If you're a racer boy or a racer girl, you probably already know that that isn't exactly a combo you want in your street car. The GT500 needed a more reliable engine. About halfway through the '67 model year, the 427 was replaced with the ever so slightly bigger 428 Police Interceptor. As the name suggests, Ford had been using this engine in their Fairlane and Galaxy cop cars. It was just as fast as the old 427, but had proven reliability serving police forces all over the country. It was a perfect match. The next year, in 1968, change was in the air. Ford decided that they wanted the Shelby to be built at a place that wasn't Shelby. They started building it at their home base in Michigan, far, far away from Carroll's Venice shop. Carroll wasn't a fan of this decision, fearing the move would take away the essence of what made a Shelby a Shelby. But fear not, because that wasn't the case. Ford yanked out the 428 Police Interceptor and put in an even better engine right underneath that fiberglass hood, the 428 Cobra Jet. Jets are the coolest thing in the world. Snakes are probably the sixth. Jets, horses, elephants, race cars, internet videos, snakes. The 428 Cobra Jet was just another arrow in Ford's racing quiver. It had a stronger engine block and stronger crankshaft, making it virtually indestructible as far as performance engines go. Ford claimed the Cobra Jet made 335 horsepower, which was less than the previous engine. This was a little white lie for insurance reasons, with the real horsepower number being around 400. The restyled 68 had a bigger mouth up front and bigger brakes out back. The Ultimate Mustang was now even more ultimate, and Ford knew it. The GT500 needed a new name. Any 500 equipped with the Cobra Jet was branded KR. Does anyone know what KR stands for?
Night Rider?
No, but that is such a good guess, buddy.
I still wish I would have got it right.
The GT500 saw a major overhaul in 1969. Shelby was hardly involved in the design process at this point, and Ford didn't call it a Cobra anymore. The relationship, as they say, how do you say, was the bed. So in the summer of 1969, Shelby and Ford parted ways, putting their torrid love affair on hold until 2006. As sales were slumping and interest of the GT500 was dying out, the 1970 GT500s were just leftover 69 models with new VIN numbers, as that was legally required. Trust me, my dad pretended to be a lawyer for 6 months. The Shelby was fizzling out in the US, but don't think that was the case all around the world. A dealer in Belgium still wanted to sell Shelbys even though Ford wasn't making them anymore. So he and Carroll worked out a deal. Shelby gave the dealer license to use his name and got a dealer in Detroit to build the cars to Carroll's specs. The cars were then sent to Belgium and sold as Shelby GT500 Europas. Europa means Europe in European. The dealer sold a whopping 14 cars in 2 years, with production ending in 1972.
After that, the GT500 name lay dormant for decades in Aladdin's lamp, until one day, the lamp would be rubbed again.
Ford released the 5th generation Mustang in 2005, 40 years after the original's debut. Noticeably absent from the new Mustang's lineup was the Shelby name.
But that was soon to change.
Ford unveiled the new GT500 at the 2005 New York Auto Show, slated for sale in 2007. To the joy of Shelby fans everywhere, the Cobra name and badge was back. No longer was the GT500 naturally aspirated. Shelby and Ford opted to put a big old blower on top this time. In the Cobra's case, the 5.4-liter supercharged engine made 2,625 zoom dogs, which converts to 500 horsepower for you normies. The engine also brought the GT500 name full circle. Just as the original 500 was powered by the Le Mans winning 427, the 2007 Cobra shared its heart with the Ford GT, Ford's new mid-engine sports car heavily inspired by the legendary GT40. Full circle, man. Full circle? A perfect circle. Oh, that's so good. That big blower, the extra equipment, the bigger wheels, the brakes, the beefier 6-speed manual made the GT500 over 300 pounds heavier than the regular GT, tipping the scales at a hefty 3,896 libs. Yeah, he was a thick boy, but he was also a quick boy. 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds and an electronically limited top speed of 160. Like the original GT500, Ford and Shelby had teamed up to build another monstrous Mustang, a beast with the power to vaporize tires at any time, accompanied by a ghoulish owl. Ladies and gentlemen, the buff horse was back. Hashtag buff horses. The KR returned in 2008. Does anyone want to guess what the KR stood for? King of the Road. Sorry, bud. This time it stood for Knight Rider. It was the hero car in the Knight Rider reboot. Oh! Catch a break. The new KR featured a lightweight carbon hood and front splitter. Ford Performance Wizards SVT tuned the KR suspension, and Goodyear supplied special supercar tires formulated special for the KR. Sometimes it's good to be the king. As a nod to the OG KR, Shelby produced 1,571 of them for the US, which matched the sales of 1968. It's kind of a weird detail, but car companies like Shelby practically live for sentimentality. In 2010, the Mustang got a refresh, and so did the GT500. It now had a similar engine to the previous KR, making 540 buff horses. The next year, that got beefed up to 550, but a big change was on the horizon for 2013. The GT500 had always been Ford's big gun, and it was about to get even bigger. SVT took the reins and pointed the big pony at the stratosphere. It would be the gnarliest steed to ever roam the rolling plains, a horse of the apocalypse, only driven by the most steadfast of drivers. We'll do an episode on SVT later this year, but my point is there was no crew better suited for the task. Like every GT500 before, the team started with the engine. It was too expensive to design a whole new block, and the 6.2 liter V8 from the Raptor wouldn't fit under the hood. These were both problems because the 5.4 liter from the previous gen GT500 was pushed to its absolute limit power-wise. The only solution to make big power gains was to increase the cylinder bore, but that wasn't gonna be easy. Nevertheless, they pushed on. The 5.8 secret is that the cylinders don't have a liner like most other engines. Ford developed a method of fusing freaking iron plasma to the cylinder walls at 35,000 degrees. That's some Tony Stark shit. Does anyone know what plasma is?
It's the fourth state of matter, a nice little milkshake of positive ions and free electrons with barely any electrical charge.
Wow. Huh, who knew? The result was bigger cylinders, which means more power, baby, 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 more power, baby. In the new GT500's case, 662 horses, making it the most powerful mass production V8 at the time. The new engine catapulted the new 500 from 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds. But you can't hit 200 miles an hour on power alone. Duh. The drive shaft was a single piece made of carbon fiber, making it lighter and eliminating resonance at high speeds. At 200 miles per, your engine needs a lot of cooling. SVT hooked the car up with a 3-row radiator and went without a grill in the front of it, maximizing cooling potential. Ford claimed the GT500 achieved 202 miles an hour, with independent testers getting pretty close to that. Without a doubt, this was the fastest Mustang ever. Around the same time as the GT500's release, Carroll Shelby passed away, but not before helping with the final tweaks and giving the car his blessing. So, what's next for the GT500? We know there's gonna be one, but we don't know much about it. See, we filmed this episode a week before the 2019 North American International Auto Show in Detroit so that we could take advantage of the SEO. Anyway, I'm not privy to all the deets, but Ford teased the new GT500 about a year ago, claiming 700 plus horsepower. From this teaser, we can also expect a huge heat extracting hood, a real wing out back, and a totally new face, which we think will look like this, thanks to this leaked pic from Instagram. Like the original GT500, this one has exaggerated features probably made of exotic materials to let everyone know, hey, I'm a GT500! Yo, I am so excited to announce that this Saturday, we are premiering a brand new show on Donut. It is called Preciado. It's in Spanish, but it's for everyone. It's an awesome show. My boys Felipe and Eddie drive the dopest cars that ever came out. I'm also really excited because we're gonna use this new feature on YouTube called Premieres, which means for 30 minutes before the episode airs, you guys can jump in the chat and talk to me and Felipe and Eddie, ask us questions, tell us secrets, this. I'm very, very excited about it. It's so cool. I look forward to you guys seeing it. I love you. And Felipe and Eddie love you. Te quiero. Thanks for watching Up to Speed. Are you subscribed? Hit the subscribe button because that ensures that we can make more stuff, and I don't want to stop making stuff. Let's chat down in the comments. Follow me on Instagram at James Pumphrey. If I get 100,000 followers, I'll pick one of you at random and send you this. A genuine half tire. Pretty cool. I love you.